Hello.
Yo,
How's it going?
pretty good. How about you?
Doing pretty good. Introduce yourself for the people. Who are you?
Awesome. I'm RyleeTime. I'm a pop punk, EDM, hyper pop DJ, artist. Yeah, I'm just here making music and having fun,
Doing everything.
doing everything.
So I forgot to ask you last year to play SWAGFEST. I don't know how I did that, but you did play the first year and you played this year. So between 2021 and 2023, like what's changed for you? Has your approach to making a set changed? Like how is making music for you changed, or like what stayed the same?
A lot's changed actually. Uh, I remember at first, my first set, I just wanted to get it done, and I didn't have a whole lot of my own music to put in there, so I just kind of threw in whatever the heck I could find, just looking around. I basically just made a playlist.
Yeah. I feel like that's what a lot of people do.
Yep. I remember after that I played Boneyard for
Hmm.
Underscored, and I heard Underscore set, and it was everything was either completely original. Well, everything was completely original, but everything was either like written by them or it was a cover or something. And so it was a
Yeah.
lot of fun to like listen to that, and I decided I wanted to do that instead. So I didn't have any covers in mind. I just kind of threw together some demos, but from here on out, I think I want to try to make some stuff for Swagfest, like covers and remixes and stuff.
Yeah. That's so real. I mean, when I saw underscores live, it like totally changed how I do sets too. Like
Yeah,
they do it different. I don't know.
exactly. It blew my
Uh,
mind.
so I mean, you mentioned like a couple different genres and stuff, and
Hmm.
like you do blend quite a few different genres, especially like different subgenres of pop, I would say. So,
Yeah.
like, who are some of your inspirations for like the different subgenres of pop?
Oh, I have so many. I grew up listening to this pop punk. No, pop. It was a crunk band. That's what it was from my hometown, Marietta.
Oh, geez.
They were called Family Force Five. They have some hits. The biggest one I think is called Chainsaw.
When I crank it like a chainsaw, yeah, they like the way I.
But I like their older stuff. Like their first three albums went so hard. They kind of fell off. I don't even know if they make music as a band anymore. But it was really nice stuff. From there, I don't know. I'm really inspired by a lot of old like 2010s party hits. I'm
Yeah.
talking like Party Rock Anthem.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, type beat.
Is there anyone that people wouldn't expect, like any
Wouldn't
really weird
expect weird ones.
people that inspire
Yes,
you?
not super popular, not pop music, but because of my bandmate. My bandmates got me into some weird stuff that I never would have thought of. Lawson, shout out. He's a folk punk kid. He got me into some nice folk punk music. So I've been listening to a lot of like Days and Days, and my favorite one is Escape from the Zoo. They're pretty much this. They're both bands headed by the same guy. Uh,
Gotcha.
yeah, I love folk punk though.
You and Lawson have like a lot of music together, but I feel like I don't know much about like how you guys met or like what you guys do. Like I know you make music together, but
Yeah.
like what is the relationship like? What do you guys, how'd you meet? What do you do?
Uh, I think the only reason I am where I am right now is because of the connections I made through Discord
Hmm.
servers. Lawson
That's
included.
real.
I think the biggest ones I have are Lawson and Haley. Haley introduced me to you, and
Hmm.
Lawson is just super talented kid I met on the 100 Gex Discord server. I just posted my stuff in the production tabs, and people would be like, "Yo, your stuff is so cool. Let's chat, let's work." And that's what Haley did. That's what Lawson did. I remember Lawson. I talked to him for about a year first before we actually started working together and making good stuff. He sent me a project that he wanted me to mix for him because I was like,
Hmm.
yeah, sure, I'll mix something for you because mixing is what I do best. Production is nice, and like writing is cool and all, but mixing is generally where I shine. So
Yeah.
I told him I'd mix a project for him, and he sent me this massive, humongous zip file that had like literally hundreds of tracks on it, and they were Logic exported. And I've noticed that when I get stems from Logic, they're usually like the levels are so minuscule. On Ableton, they just look like lines. You can't tell what
Yeah.
anything is. So I had to literally turn everything up, and I decided to give up on that. I was like, yeah, I'm not talking to this guy anymore. I'm not working with him. And he hit me up like a year later with 150 Unplugged, and I was like, holy moly, this is a really good one. I wanna talk to him again. So we started working, and this time he sent me stems that were a lot more concise. It was like 10 tracks maybe, and I was able to actually see the audio files. And I worked magic on that mix from like the first iteration to the fifth iteration, and I think in the matter of like 2 weeks we got that track done completely. And then since we worked so well on that one, I handed him Mute.
They only hear you when you give them something more than what they're asking for. And to me that's...
And I was like, let's work on this one. And once again, 2 weeks, it was about done. And we were like, okay, we work really well together. This is insane.
Yeah.
So we started an album, and then we aren't finished with that album yet. We haven't really. We just started sitting down and like writing things for a band. Because if we work so well together, might as well make a band.
Mhm.
And we don't have a name for the band yet. But we have like a track list of songs we want to do. We already have like a record label who's interested in signing us just from some demos we've shown them. It was a song he was paid to write for some YouTuber's intro. It was like some camping YouTuber or whatever. They were like, write us an intro song, we'll pay you. And he did it. He got like $25 for it. He had me do the drums for it and mix it. And I was like, I don't want to take your money. I have a job. This is the only money you're going to get. So keep it. He showed the demo to one of his teachers, and his teacher was like, oh wait, this is sick, I know a guy. And his guy ended up being a record label executive who was like, this is some fresh stuff, we need to take a look at these guys. So we've been kind of texting back and forth. It was a cool little pop punk DIY sounding intro. It sounded real fun.
Hell yeah. Perfect for camping.
Perfect for camping, right?
So what makes a good collaborator for you? I mean, I guess not sending like a million stems that
Yeah.
have, like no visual audio, but besides that.
Well, for me, most of my collaborations work like I'm a big starter. I start tons of projects,
Yeah.
and I don't finish most of them. I'm a great starter, terrible finisher. My best collaborators are people who are fantastic finishers, not great starters. Like Lawson
Gotcha.
is a great finisher, especially since he plays guitar so much. Like
Mhm.
this is his main thing. He sits down, he plays guitar, and he can write a song based off of an idea that I had in like 3 minutes. Then I just got to produce his song, and we have a collaboration.
Yeah.
Haley's pretty much the same way. I start a song, she finishes the beat, and then you and I just do vocals over it, and we have a goofballs track.
Yeah.
Just someone who can finish the ideas that I have, because I'm really bad at it.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
That would like ties in perfectly to this question. That's like you make a lot of music that doesn't end up seeing the light of day.
Mhm.
Like what percent of things would you say do you start that end up actually being released?
Probably like 1 or 2. It's bad. But actually, I'm working on an album, and I'm taking a lot of my older tracks, ones specifically that I think work well together and I think they could finish. And I'm hoping to have this thing out by like 2025, including like music videos, pictures, advertising campaigns, and all of it. It's going to be really exciting, and the album is turning out to be absolute heat.
Exciting. How many like work in progress songs do you say you have going at any point in time? Are you someone that has like a bunch of like for me, I like to have 3 or 4 songs going at once because I'll just get bored of one, like working on one for too long, and so I can hop to another one. Are you the same way, or do you just like how does that work for you?
Wait, I'm sharing my OBS scene, so I can literally show you this right now. So basically, from here to about all of these are all just tracks that I've started and probably will never finish.
Oh my god.
And this is just the ones I have on iTunes. I have like probably just as many on SoundCloud that aren't even on here.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So all I had to say, a lot. I don't know that I could count them, but basically my workflow is make what I'm feeling right now. Which sometimes is like folk punk, sometimes it's pop punk, sometimes it's EDM, sometimes it's hyper pop, sometimes it's like some trap beat because whatever I'm inspired by this week. Just sit down, make that, and then if I want to finish something, scroll through my library, and like, do I think I can finish this one? Do I have any ideas? Just sit down, listen to it. I have playlists of tracks that I'm generally like always inspired by. That I've started. Like, I have this one playlist called Riley Discography, which is songs that I've finished and songs that I plan on finishing at some point, because every time I listen to them, I'm so inspired. And it's pretty long. It's 61 songs. And it's an hour and 7 minutes of mostly just like 20 to 40 second demos that I have ideas for that I could actually finish one day.
Yeah.
I think.
You got to do the Mac DeMarco thing and just release like a 10-hour album of all that unfinished shit.
I've thought about it. It was actually Jack Stauber gave me that idea with Micropop. It was 100 songs and they were all like 20 to 50 seconds.
So you're inspired by like a lot of different things. How do you find new music? Like for me, it's mostly like my Discover Weekly and like Spotify playlists and stuff, but how do you find new stuff?
For a long time it was SoundCloud. I would go on SoundCloud and I would kind of just go down rabbit holes. Like I had a really big EDM era where all I made was like, I wanted to make dubstep and rhythm, so I listened to a ton of it, but I only ever made like super cute like Snail's House type beats.
That's how it goes.
That's how it goes. I was never able to make EDM or like dubstep specifically. I got really good at making those. They sound clean and nice, but I don't want to release those. But the way I would discover those is I would like go to my artists I like. I loved Virtual Riot. I loved Panda Eyes. So like Disciple was a big thing. I could go like, oh, Virtual Riot's on Disciple. I'll go to Disciple. I'll listen to all the artists on Disciple. I'm like, I like this guy. I'll go listen to that guy. Listen to the other collectives or whatever he's in.
Yeah.
Do this just basically like a rabbit hole all the way down. And then sometimes SoundCloud would just like start recommending me new songs that I would just listen to just because I was bored. And I would discover new artists that way. Artists that I never would have discovered otherwise that have like smaller followings. Nowadays, for the most part, it is playlists. When hyperpop was starting out and it was like new, and I was listening to a ton of 100 gecs, I wanted to find more like it. So I went to the Spotify hyperpop playlist, listened to whatever was on there, and I ended up discovering all the different artists that I think are so cool now. I don't know how I discover any music nowadays. Nowadays, it's mostly whatever my favorite artists are shouting out and what they're part of. Like Dylan Brady, he produces songs for all these different artists and posts them to his story. And I love Dylan Brady's production. Dylan Brady's like a number one for me. But generally, I'll just listen to whatever artist he produces for. So like, usually Ravena Golden is an artist he produces for.
Oh yeah.
Cali Cartier, Lewis Grant, Cake Pop. I just kind of dive down the rabbit holes of the artists that I really like. And also it's friends recommending things to me. Like Escape from the Zoo is a number one for me. Then that one was recommended to me by Lawson. And then I went through like, who do I like in Escape from the Zoo? I like Jesse Sandejas. And he does Days and Days as well. So I like listening to that music as well. And I was like, what is this? Oh, this is like ska punk. So I look for ska punk playlists on Spotify. And I ended up finding like the Aquabats, some songs from Blink-182 that I love, Mustard Plug, things that I never would have heard of before, which are absolutely fire. And then recently I jumped down a Crunk rabbit hole because it was so funny to me. What's funny is that the Crunk band that I listen to, Family Force 5, they're like Christian, but they don't have like, it's not like super big Christian. So I grew up listening to like, it's Christian party music, right? So it just sounds like music, but it's like clean and it's like there's no bad words. I go to listen to, I thought this is what Crunk was. And I go to listen to Crunk music and I was taken by complete surprise. I was like, whoa, this is...
Oh, God.
Family Force 5 are the Christian ones. Jeez Louise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's funny. So speaking of EDM, and you mentioned like an EDM a lot, if Slushii unblocked you for one message, what would you tell him?
What would I tell him?
And maybe the people need context for those who aren't aware of the Slushii and Riley lore.
Let me pull up receipts. So on SoundCloud, on my alt account, my demos account. One second, let me pull this up. Make sure I'm logged into my demos account. There we go. So in my messages, I messaged Dinner with Judy, which is Slushii's hyperpop alt. And I sent him basically my bunch of my demos 2 years ago. Sent him a few of these. Most of them are private now. These two aren't. And he actually responded. I was not expecting it, but he responded. He said hit me on Insta. And after this, you know what he did? I didn't hit him on Insta. He hit me on Insta and followed me, and we just started chatting it up. And let me see if I can find that, or if I deleted it because I got butthurt by it when he blocked me.
We're canceling Slushii.
Canceling Slushii. 1 million followers. It's crazy. His stuff is so fire too. So he hits me up first. He goes, "Yo, dude." And I'm like, "Yo." I remember I was sitting there playing Minecraft, and I got a message from Slushii, and I was like, "What is going on?" He said, "Yo," and then he said, "Checked out my stuff." He said, "Leave Me Alone" is a heater. "Leave Me Alone" was a collab that I was doing with you and Haley at the time.
Yeah.
He found it on my own account, and then I sent him this link, which is which is our version, because I said I've been working with you on it.
Yeah.
And basically he sent me, this was a video, I remember this so distinctly, of him in his studio playing a bootleg that he made of my track on his monitors. And then he sent me this link, which is, I believe, if it's still valid, it is the bootleg of my track, "Leave Me Alone, Slushii Whip." Basically, that's how it got started, and then I started messaging him like crazy, all annoying, but he didn't seem to be bothered by it for a while. You can see there's a lot more. There's a lot more blue than gray. You can see.
Yeah.
He sent me his number at the end of it.
What?
I asked him if he could send me his number, and we started texting. We had iMessage, so we started sending like demos back and forth on iMessage, which was crazy. Like he sent me some. Like I have like actual like a couple unreleased Slushii tracks on mine that he wanted me to do. He didn't tell me what.
IDs.
I have some Slushii IDs. I do. And so I actually put one in my set this year.
Yeah.
Which was fire, and I love that one so much. I also put the "Leave Me Alone" remix in there too.
So
But
if he unblocked you, what one message would you send him?
If he unblocked me, so basically, yeah, he blocked me after a while on iMessage, out of nowhere, just out of the blue. Now my bubbles are green. Well, my bubbles are green now because I'm on Android, but my bubbles were green when I was on iPhone. He doesn't see my message anymore. If he unblocked me for once, I'd probably send him my best project now. 2 years later, there's a lot of improvement. I'd be like, "Bro, listen to this. Listen to this one."
Slushii, if you're watching.
Give me another chance, bro. Okay, wait. I actually have. I've been wanting to show this to you and Haley in the Goofballs group chat, actually, because this is freaking. This one, this is gonna make waves.
You make your circles in my mind. Now I'm dizzy and exhausted. I'm a fool for you. I'm a fool for you. Circles in my mind, dizzy and exhausted.
It's giving, like, if the mix was cleaner, it's giving Skrillex, like new Skrillex.
Right, man. And it feels like Slushii to me, actually. So I would send that to him because I'd be like, "Bro, this, come on."
So you mentioned "Leave Me Alone."
Mm-hmm.
Circling back to that, which do you think is going to come first, "Leave Me Alone" dropping or a female U.S. president?
Probably a female
Honest
U.S.
answer.
president.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna
Probably.
drop for a long time. That song has a detailed, long history.
There's lore.
There is lore to that song.
There's lore.
But it'll come out one day.
Hopefully. Everyone I play it for likes it.
Yeah, and my mom doesn't.
Your mom doesn't.
My mom doesn't.
My parents probably wouldn't either.
Do you know why?
Is it because there's bad words in it?
No. Well, now she wouldn't because of that. But
is it my verse?
No.
She hate my verse.
Well, I don't. She didn't like it when I showed her my demo, because I remember I wrote it when I was mad at her, and I told her and I showed it to her.
That's so funny. It's funny that you told her that and then showed it to her. That's so petty.
I know, and she hates it now.
So you mentioned the 2025 album. What else should people be on the lookout for you, like from you?
Um, as far as I know, that's like it. I don't have like anything else coming out anytime soon that I know of, except for maybe some goofball songs. If we finish those before we probably will before 2025. Like 64 ounce, semi truck body slam.
There's a couple.
Couple. Those two will be absolutely fire when they finally drop.
Okay, final question before we wrap it up.
Okay.
What time is Riley time?
All the time.
All the time?
Whenever you're Riley in. Whenever, it could
Whenever
be
you're
any time
Riley.
you want. Whenever you're Riley in. I don't know. I don't know what it's supposed to mean.
I don't need to know what it means. I just need to know what time is Riley
What time it is?
All the time works. That's a fully valid answer.
All the time. Anytime.
Perfect. Anything else for the people?
I love you all. You're so sweet to me.
You heard it here, folks. Well, thank you for the interview.
Yeah, thank you for interviewing me. This was a blast.